Bye, buddy. Hope you find your dad.
Thanks, Mr. Narwhal.
2003's Elf is one of the most beloved Christmas movies to be released in the 21st century, and can be easily ranked as one of the best holiday movies of all time. With its success launching not only the movie career of SNL alum Will Ferrell, but also cementing Jon Favreau's status as a viable mainstream director. And since its release 22 years ago, the film has spawned a children's book based on the movie, a Broadway musical, and a stop-motion animated movie in 2014 that swapped out Will Ferrell in the titular role of Buddy the Elf with Jim Parsons of The Big Bang Theory. Bazinga. But what if I told you that we almost had an Elf sequel in 2005 that would have shifted the focus from a father and son story in the first movie to a father and daughter narrative, and would have sent Buddy to the suburbs and had him face off against the CEO of an oil company and an evil claymation Santa called Koal Kringle?
That's ridiculous.
Let me explain. Although Elf is now regarded as a timeless Christmas classic by the millions who enjoy it, its success was not always guaranteed. In fact, the key players involved in making Elf had very little confidence in the film while they were filming it and it was in production. Will Ferrell was worried that the over-the-top nature of Buddy the Elf would ruin his career, as Elf was his first leading role in a movie after leaving SNL. Furthermore, James Caan was skeptical of Ferrell's performance of Buddy, often telling his co-star that he didn't get his performance and that he thought it wasn't funny. Though Caan would change his tune after the film's premiere, regaling Ferrell's role as brilliant. And Jon Favreau initially turned down the role of director because he felt that the original script written by David Barenbaum was too dark. And on November 7th, 2003, Elf released in theaters and became a massive hit, making approximately $220 to $230 million on a budget of only $33 million. But with the level of success that Elf reached, both critically and financially, talks of a sequel began not long after the film's theatrical run. In 2005, a full first draft of Elf 2 was written by Scot Armstrong, who had previously penned Old School and Starsky Hutch, both of which starred Ferrell. With Armstrong at the helm of screenwriter, the script was ripe with comedy. However, whether all of it would have landed is difficult to say, as the script at times dramatically swings from clever comedy to absurdity. The film begins with Buddy at the dentist's office. The lifetime of sugar, maple syrup, and assorted sweets has taken a toll on his teeth, and he must now have serious dental work done. After some apprehension, sleeping gas is administered to put Buddy under for the procedure. However, the sleeping gas does not take, and Buddy violently reacts and goes on a rampage. Bob Newhart would return as Papa Elf and narrate the story, as the movie would cut to Buddy's life in New York with Jovie and their daughter Suzie. Their life together is perfect. With Jovie at his side, Buddy is a popular children's book author that tells his adventures at the North Pole. Suzie, now 10, is extremely close to Buddy, as she shares his affinity for all things Christmas. However, the cracks of their life together in the city begin to show as Buddy's elf antics put Suzie in danger and eventually get him in trouble with the NYPD. The Hobbs family tries to rectify this by heading to the suburbs, and Buddy is once again thrown into an unfamiliar territory, much like in the first film, when he heads to New York to find his father, Walter Hobbs, who was surprisingly absent in Armstrong's first draft. Buddy has a difficult time acclimating to his new surroundings, which is shown in a montage that greatly resembles the one in the first movie. One of the standout scenes involves Buddy trying to order at a drive-thru despite not being in a car. It's scenes like this that eventually earn Buddy the reputation of being somewhat of the town freak, making him the butt of everyone's jokes. This starts to become a problem for Buddy when Susie's new friends begin to chastise him and sway Susie's opinion of him. Buddy, whom she used to adore and admire, now becomes a source of embarrassment for her. This shift in Buddy and Susie's father-daughter dynamic comes to a breaking point when Buddy shows up to her school during Bring Your Father to School Day. Buddy begins to regale the other students about stories from the North Pole. This catches the attention of Mr. Spicer, the father of Susie's friend Jessie, and the CEO of an oil company, who now serves as a sort of suburban antagonist to Buddy. When the two return home from school, Suzie berates Buddy for his actions in front of her classmates and asks him in many words why he can't be quote-unquote normal. This question breaks Buddy. Distraught at Susie's new opinion of him, Buddy rejects his elf ways and attempts to be normal for his daughter. Gone is Buddy the Elf, reinvented into Brian Hobbs, outstanding member of suburban society. But in his mission to do right by Suzie, Brian overcorrects and misunderstands what it means to be a normal adult. He visits an adult bookstore and joins a country club. While at the club, Buddy starts to play poker. His inner child begins to bleed through as he starts to stack the poker chips into a castle, and is oblivious that it's intimidating the other players at the table. Throughout all of this, Buddy's new Brian activities continue to catch the eye of Mr. Spicer. Spicer invites Buddy, Jovie, and Suzie to a game night with the other families in the neighborhood, with the sole intention of ridiculing Buddy in front of everyone. At the end of the night, Spicer comes out in an elf costume and mocks Buddy. Suzie is mortified that her father could bring that much embarrassment to her in front of her friends, and she basically rejects Buddy after this and wants to live her life separate from who he is. It is here in the story that we find Buddy at his lowest, much like in this scene from the first Elf.
I don't belong anywhere.
And from this point moving forward, the film takes kind of a strange turn. Up until this point, the script tells the story of a more grounded film, with elements of a character study between Buddy and Suzie. Armstrong's comedy is present throughout, and for the most part seems like it would have landed. But by the end of the second act, the screenplay takes a dramatic shift into the fantasy genre. Just as Papa Elf is starting to narrate Buddy's woes, he is kidnapped by Koal Kringle, the antagonist of the film's fantasy portion. Koal Kringle harkens back to the Christmas specials of the Rankin Bass era, as the villain would have been brought to the screen via claymation. Leon the Snowman travels to the suburbs to warn Buddy of Papa Elf's capture. Buddy does not immediately rush to his aid, as he tells Leon that he's no longer Buddy, but Brian. Buddy eventually snaps out of it and goes to rescue his father. Before facing Koal Kringle at the South Pole, he travels to Switzerland to meet with Santa, who is in attendance at Christmas HQ with the other Santas of the world. Buddy is informed that Christmas cannot take place without Papa Elf. Buddy then faces Koal Kringle, who feels slighted by the Christmas season, as Christmas falls on the same day as his birthday and steals the show. Buddy is triumphant in the end, and is able to rescue Papa Elf, win back the love and respect of Suzie, and is able to save Christmas with the help of the other Santas. Overall, a very Hollywood ending in the script's first draft. But a first draft is all that it received. But what exactly happened? Well, Will Ferrell famously turned down a $29 million offer to reprise his role as Buddy in the sequel, stating he rejected the script on the grounds that it lacked the quality of the first movie and felt like a cash grab that added nothing new to the story, and instead rehashed the premise of Elf. And although it's never been confirmed by Ferrell himself, James Caan hinted at an alleged feud between Will Ferrell and Jon Favreau as one of the reasons why the sequel never came to fruition. And so Elf 2 failed to make it past the scripting stage, becoming yet another sequel not to see the light of day. And although I'm not the first person to discuss the Elf sequel, it's fascinating to see where it all went wrong and what could have been. Even though the script is derivative of the first film, it had the potential to be something fun. Some of its comedy bits really land, and Buddy's love for Suzie is truly endearing. But as the story leans into the fantastical, it loses touch with its core and derails itself. Because let's be honest, if a sequel can't exude the quality of its first film,
You stink.
especially on a beloved movie like Elf, it might just be screenplay or bust. Thank you so much for tuning in, folks, and please don't forget to like, subscribe, and to hit that bell icon to turn on notifications. It really helps with the channel. And comment down below, what did you think about Elf 2's supposed script? Do you think Will Ferrell was right to turn it down? Even if you have any lingering thoughts about Elf, comment down below because I want to hear it. Until then, happy holidays everyone. I'll see you next week.